Every football Saturday in the fall, it's a big week, but there's something a little different about the Albany week here this week as Monmouth takes on the Great Danes in the Empire State on Saturday at 1 p.m. Coach, Albany is a traditional rival of yours. This game has all the importance of a championship game early in the season. We have a lot to discuss. Let's start with the most basic, though. Whenever you go up to Albany, it's always a great game.
Well, you know, they have such a great program, and they've kind of had our number the last 5 years anyways. You know, they're a well-coached group. They're extremely talented, and, you know, they're always a very, very difficult opponent. You know, this game, you know, matches both teams coming in that are 3-1. It's early in the season. It's certainly early in the NEC process at this point in terms of determining the champion, but I think that this game will certainly give, you know, one of the teams a leg up.
Coach, it normally seems that whenever the Hawks and Albany get together, traditionally it seems late in the season. It always seems as though it's an October-November game. A little different being in September, also with the added importance, both undefeated in league play and both looking like two of the better teams in the conference.
Well, yeah, we are both undefeated, but it still is very, very early in league play. We've played 2 conference games, and I believe Albany's played 1. You know, and the way the NEC usually unfolds is that every game is extremely important. And as we've seen over the last 3 to 4 years, it's a conference where there's a great deal of parity. Anybody can beat anyone else on any given Saturday, and you know that's not just a recited cliche. That's really true in the NEC. And you know our guys have to understand that each week when we go out and play a conference game, you know we've got to be at our best.
Let's talk quickly about the Great Danes, about first their offense. Normally, they were a traditional power running team. They were an option team for a few years. Seems these last couple years they've opened it up. Will Fiacci's a really good quarterback. Drew Smith is a very talented tailback, and they just seem more dynamic on the offensive side of the ball than they have been in the past.
Well, they certainly have an awful lot of weapons. You know, you mentioned you know the quarterback Fiacci, and he's having a very good start to this season. You know, Andrew Smith, we know very well. He's played against us for the last 4 years. He's a very big, very talented running back, and they complement that with I think a very good receiving core, and you know they've got great balance in their offense, and they can present a variety of problems for any defense, and they have the ability to attack you in any number of different ways, and they can spread the ball around.
And defensively, they always seem to be just a very solid unit. They don't miss a lot of tackles. They always are very competitive also on that side of the football. What do you see from their defense through their first 4 games?
Well, they're very tough, very physical. They have what I feel are the best linebackers we've played against this year. You know, they complement that with a very firm defensive front, and their secondary are guys who can make plays. As you said, they're a team that does not make mistakes, or at least, you know, history has proven that they don't make mistakes, and, you know, they're not going to be in a position where they beat themselves. They're going to make sure that they play very sound and fundamental in what they do. They have the ability to bring pressure and compose some problems for any offense.
Coach, quickly, let's take a look at your unit. Comes into the game 3-game winning streak. They've won both their games at home. They have one on the road already this season. Your offense right now is as dynamic as any in the Northeast Conference with how Kyle Frazier and the skill position players in the backs are. What do you see from them that you like going into this matchup with the Great Danes?
Well, I think we see balance. We see players in a number of positions, at running back, tight ends, receivers, quarterback, that have the ability to make plays. I think what that gives us is the opportunity to spread the ball around, to do some different things formationally, to attack opposing defenses in a variety of ways.
And, Coach, on the defensive side of the ball, it's kind of a return to the glory days of Monmouth football. The defense is in the top 10 in the nation, and a lot of categories reminiscent of the championship seasons and those defenses. What do you like from that side of the football heading into this big game Saturday?
Well, I like that we're working hard to get better each week. I don't think, you know, we've certainly arrived yet as a defense. You know, we're only 4 games into the season, and yes, we've done some good things, and we've been able to do a pretty good job on 3rd downs, and we've been able to get the ball back for our offense at a pretty good rate. And you know, those are 2 qualities of any successful defense, but I think we still have a long way to go.
Hey, Coach, very quickly, what are the couple things that Monmouth fans need to either be aware of when they're in the stands at University Field or listening on the radio, that if the Hawks do these few things well against Albany, they should come out victorious?
Well, I think first and foremost, you know, offensively, we've got to protect the ball. We can't turn it over. We've got to make sure that we're extending our drives and not providing Albany's offense with any additional possessions by way of turnover. You know, on the defensive side, I think we have to you know, limit the big play and prevent Albany from gaining chunks of yardage at a time, and you know that's something in the last 2 years that we have not done a very good job with, and you know I think we've got to be improved in that area on Saturday.
And Coach, final question. Obviously, you're the only head coach in Monmouth football history, been here 20 years now. When you look across the field and see someone like Bob Ford, you've both been at your respective schools for so long. Obviously, it's team versus team, but you have to know each other pretty well after playing against each other for so many years.
Well, I've been very fortunate to have the opportunity to coach under Coach Ford. I did that when I started my coaching career right out of college in the late 70s, and it was an experience that I'll never forget, and an experience that I took an awful lot away from. As a matter of fact, some of the things that I still do as a coach were, I learned under his tutelage, and he's done such an exceptional job. He's been at Albany now 40 years, I think, and just done a terrific job there, and they're staged to make yet another move, moving into the Colonial Athletic Association and increase their scholarship level to 63. So, I think it's a great tribute to what he's built there.
Well, Coach, we appreciate the few minutes today. Good luck not only today at practice, but Saturday against Albany.
Thanks, Eddie.
That's Monmouth University head football coach, the only head coach in Monmouth football history, Kevin Callahan, as we look ahead to Monmouth against Albany Saturday at 1 p.m. We continue our look at Monmouth against Albany this Saturday, 1 o'clock at University Field. I'm happy to be joined now by Monmouth senior offensive lineman Mike Murphy. Murph, you've been through all the NEC battles and in the trenches, and you've kind of, as one of the senior statesmen on this Hawks team, you've seen a lot. But this Saturday, one of the biggest, if not the biggest game, I think, that you'll have played in your time. What do you see as you get ready for Albany? I know it's a rivalry game. How's the unit getting ready for it?
It's definitely our biggest game of my career, especially the situation we're in. It's early in the season, but it's good to play a game so meaningful, and we're going out against a good Albany team. They don't make many mistakes, and that's what we keep talking about in our meetings, is they don't make mistakes, so we have to play our best game, not get in any bad situations, and give them life. So we've been beat the past couple of years on fake punts and special teams play, and we want to shore up everything so there's no mistakes like that this year.
Murph, the offense on this 3-game winning streak has been very good. It's been efficient and hasn't made mistakes. You guys have been able to not only score your points, but to stay ahead of the chains and get first downs. And what do you see on tape from Albany that you think can allow you to continue that with the balanced attack the offense has?
I think Albany, like they said, they're a tough defense. They don't move around particularly much, but they're stout and they don't give up big plays, and that's the thing. Our offense is made to keep grinding on them, then hit a big play, and that's what we're looking for. They don't give up big plays, but we think as we wear them down, I think we'll be able to get down the field a little bit.
Well, then let's take that same question and kind of spin it the other way. What makes you feel good about your offense and how they're playing, the skill position players, the running backs, Kyle at quarterback, that gives you some confidence heading into Albany?
It gives us confidence because they've been playing great. Kyle's been playing good week in and week out. Our running backs have really been doing a good job. We had a little lull against Sacred Heart, and as the offensive line, we took a little bit to blame that, and we're looking to have a big bounce-back week against a good defense.
More final question. What does the Monmouth offense need to do on Saturday, in your opinion, those couple points, in order to be successful, score points ultimately, and hopefully win the game?
I think we definitely need to run the ball on first and second down effectively and not getting ourselves into second, third, and longs. And it'll loosen up the pass rush a little bit and be able to give Kyle some time to throw the ball down the field. And the big thing is, as offensive line, we want to come out and run the ball, and that's what we plan to do.
We have this week's Monmouth at Albany football game covered from every angle. You can listen to the game on 1160 and 1310 a.m., as well as shoresportsnetwork.com and WOBM.com. And if you're already a Hawk Vision subscriber, this weekend's game between the Hawks and Great Danes is available on GoMUHawks.com. And as always, remember to follow Monmouth University Athletics and Football on Twitter and like them both on Facebook.